Practice 10-2, the Pythagorean Theorem. So the Pythagorean Theorem states that in any right triangle, if you add the squares of the lengths of the legs of the triangle, it's going to equal the square of the length of the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is the side that is across from the right angle. So when we talk about squaring things, this is essentially what it looks like. So let's say you have a right triangle with a side or with two legs, 1, 3, 1, 4, and a hypotenuse of 5. So if you square each side, each leg, or if you turn each leg into one side of a square, this square is 3 squared. So if you look in here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares. Okay? Because 3 squared is 9. If you look here, you have 4 squared, 4 turned into a square. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 squares. Because 4 squared is 16. That's what that means. And on the hypotenuse, if we turn this into a square, you get a square of 5 units by 5 units, so you end up with 25 squares. So, because 5 squared equals 25. So if you look here, if you count all of these squares, 9 squares plus these 16 squares, that equals 25 squares, which is the same amount of squares that is in the square of the hypotenuse. So that's where that comes from. So now that we understand the Pythagorean theorem, we can apply it to some triangles. So we want to find the missing side. So we have A, B, and C. C is always the hypotenuse. Okay? A's and B's are kind of interchangeable, but right now we're looking for B. So we have our rule, which is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So we're just going to plug each of these in. So we have A squared, that's 11 squared, plus X squared, or B squared, we can just use B, since we're looking for that, equals 61 squared. So now we just keep going. So 11 squared is 121, plus B squared equals 61 squared. And 61 squared is 3,721. So now we want to isolate the B. So the way we do that is we subtract 121 from both sides. Okay? So now on this side we just have B squared, and on this side we have 3600. Okay? And because this is squared, we're not looking for B squared, we're just looking for B. So the way we undo a square is by finding the square root of it. So we want to square root both sides. So you can use a calculator for this, or you can use the fact that there's a 36 in front, and the square root of 36 is 6. And then you just have the number of zeros. So there's 2 zeros, so we're just going to take 1 0 and put it after the 6. So the square root of 3600 is 60, so B equals 60. Now we have A equals X, B equals 24, and C equals 40. So we are going to say A squared plus 24 squared equals 40 squared. Okay? So we have A squared, I don't know why this is being funky right now, A squared plus, and 24 times 24 is 576, equals 40 squared, which is 1600. Okay, so we want to isolate the A. We want to figure out what A is by getting it all by itself. So we're going to subtract 576 from both sides. So we have A squared equals 1600 minus 576, and that is 1024. So now we want to find the square root of both sides. So the square root of 1024 is 32. So A equals 32. And this is our final answer. So now we have A equals X, b equals 80 and c equals 90. So we are going to say a squared plus 80 squared equals 90 squared. So a squared plus 80 times 80 is 1600. Not 1600, what am I doing? 6400 equals 90 squared, which is 8100. Okay, so now we are going to subtract 6400 from both sides because we want to get the a by itself. 6. Okay, so we have a squared equals 8100 minus 6400, which is 1700. And we are going to find the square root of both sides. So a equals 41.23. Okay, because in the directions it says to round to the nearest tenth. Oh, in that case, we just want to do 41.2 because a tenth is just one number after the decimal. Okay, a equals x, b equals 13, c equals 24. So we have a squared plus, what was b? 13 squared equals 24 squared. So a squared plus 169 equals 24 times 24, which is 576. And now we want to get a by itself, so we're going to subtract 169 from both sides. So 576 minus 169 is 407. So we have a squared equals 407. And then we want to find the square root of both sides. So the square root of 407, a equals 20.2. So this is our answer. So now what it's asking us to do is determine whether the given lengths can be sides of a right triangle. So what we're going to do is we're going to find our biggest number, and this is going to be c. So we're going to take our other two sides, our other two numbers, and see if these two squared and added up together will equal this squared. So we're going to say 24 squared plus 60 squared equals 66 squared. We don't know for sure yet if that's true, but if it is true, then that means that we really do have a right triangle. So 24 squared is 576. 60 squared is 3600. And 66 squared is 4,356. So now we want to add 576 and 3600, and that equals 4176. And that does not equal 4356. So the answer to this is no, this is not a right triangle. Okay, let's try it again. 45, 28, and 53. So our largest number is 53. This is going to be C. It doesn't matter which one of the other two are A's and B's. It's going to be the same either way. So we're going to say 45 squared plus 28 squared equals 53 squared. And we're going to see if this is really true. So 45 squared is 2025, and 28 squared is 784, and 53 squared is 2809. Now we want to add 2025 and 784 to see if it equals 2809. And if you put that in your calculator, you'll see that it does. So the answer to this is yes, this is a right triangle. Okay, So now we have a word problem, and for me, it always helps to draw it out. So a ladder is 25 feet long. Here's our ladder. The ladder needs to reach to a window that is 24 feet above the ground. How far away from the building should the bottom of the ladder be placed? So if we ignore the house and the ladder and the grass, you'll see that right here we have a right triangle. So here's our right angle, so that means the 25 is our C. So it doesn't matter whether this is A or this is B, it's going to turn out the same either way, but just let's say 24 is A and X is B. So we are going to say 24 squared plus B squared equals 25 squared. So 24 squared is 576 plus B squared equals 625, which is 25 squared. Now we want to subtract 576 from both sides. And what that means is B squared equals 49. Now we want to find the square root of both sides. So that means B equals the square root of 49, which is 7. That means the ladder should be placed 7 feet away from the bottom of the building. And that is it for practice 10-2.